Well, it's going to be time to start a new streak here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field for the Saskatoon Berries. Good evening, Les Lazaruk with you as we're on FloCollege on a Monday evening, a pleasant Monday evening here in Saskatoon. The Berries, who had a 16-game home field winning streak to start the season, ended back on Saturday with a 6-4 10-inning loss to the Regina Red Sox. Get to try a new streak here tonight as they start a 2-game series at home against the Moose Jaw Miller Express. The Berries, with a record of 27 wins and 4 losses, again continuing to lead the East Division of the WCBL. They have a 9-1 record in their last 10 games, 16-1 here at home, and they have won all 4 head-to-head meetings with Moose Jaw. The Miller Express come in at 13-19. They're in 4th in the East Division, have lost their last 3 games in a row, 3-7 in their last 10, 8-9 on the road, and they are 0-4 head-to-head against the Saskatoon Berries, as we're just about ready for the national anthem. Wayne McGilvery with the national anthem here in Saskatoon as we're just about set and ready to get going with baseball tonight. Western Canadian Baseball League, the Berries, and the Moose Jaw Miller Express. Let's take a look at the Berries defensively, starting in the outfield from right field around to left. In right field, it's Ethan Murdoch. In center field, Carter Beck. And the left fielder is Jamel Freeman. Around the infield at third base is Mason Rell. At shortstop, Nathan Houston. Second baseman is ABM Medina. And the first baseman, Ethan Menard. Balin Sorensen is the catcher. And Diego Quinones is the starting pitcher for tonight. Diego Quinones is going to make his 6th appearance of the season. All starts. He has a record of 2 wins, no losses, an earned run average of 2.73. Diego Quinones has thrown 23 innings, has allowed 22 hits, 10 runs, 7 earned, has struck out 12, and walked 7. Quinones from La Cruces, New Mexico, went to Weber International, coming off his senior year there. His last appearance was 5 2/3 innings in Regina back on Canada Day. He got credit for the victory, giving up 3 runs, 1 earned run, 6 hits, struck out 1, and walked nobody. At Weber International this past year, Diego Quinones pitched in 7 games, 3 starts, had a win, a 9.00 earned run average, and in 4 years of college, a 4.96 earned run average with a 16-11 record in 48 games, 31 starts. He played for Luna Community College, Ottawa University, which is in Ottawa, Kansas, not Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, Luna Community College in Las Vegas, New Mexico, and Weber International University this past winter in Babson Park, Florida. So he's traveled around a little bit to do his college ball, and now he's found his way to Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada, to pitch for the Berries in the summer of 2025. He'll start off tonight facing the top three in the very potent Moose Jaw lineup. Thomas Soto at shortstop, William Edwards, the designated hitter, and Austin Gurney at first base. Moose Jaw hits well. They don't pitch very well. That is basically the scouting report on them. They hit .286 as a team, but their earned run average as a team is 7.61, which is 10th of the 12 teams in the Western Canadian Baseball League. Only Swift Current and Weyburn are worse. Having a brief discussion with Dustin Mulliken, their pitching coach, says, we got to be better at the arms. And he would know. He was a pretty good pitcher. Pitched in this ballpark many years ago for the Saskatoon Yellow Jackets back in the day. As Diego Quinones' first pitch delivery to Thomas Soto is a called strike one at 7 o'clock on Monday evening. Home plate umpire is Bobby Mark. Down the first baseline, Mark Clark, and down the third baseline is Aaron Rodgers, the crew chief. Down and away, ball one. 1-1 the count on Thomas Soto. Shortstop for the Moose Jaw Miller Express, hitting .300. 36 hits and 120 at-bats, 2 home runs, 16 RBI. 1-1 pitch is down low, 2-1. Thomas Soto from Round Rock, Texas, coming off his junior year at the University of Texas at Dallas, playing in his third season as a member of the Miller Express. Fouls this one up over top of the third base bleachers and into the plaza area. 2-2 the count. Just nicely underway on a pleasant Monday evening. We'll get you some details on that here in a moment. As 2-2 pitch, and again Soto fouls it off over top of the third base bleachers and into the plaza again. 2-2 the count. 21 degrees Celsius under mostly cloudy skies, although I'd say it's partly cloudy here. Southwest at 10 kilometers per hour, so wind shouldn't be much of a factor. Soto right up the middle. Houston will glove it, spin, fire to first. Not in time. No, they're going to call him out. Oh, first base umpire Mark Clark looked like he was going to give the safe sign and then changed his mind and put out the thumb and said, you're out of there. Great defensive play by Nathan Houston, the former member of the Moose Jaw Miller Express. And Soto is out. Nope. One away. William Edwards, the DH. On an 8-game hitting streak coming in. Soto thought he had himself a 5-game hit streak with that ground ball. First pitch from Quinones is upstairs and inside, ball one. Edwards hitting .369, which is 11th in the Western Canadian Baseball League in terms of batting average. 1-0 pitch on the inside corner for a strike. .369 for William Edwards, 48 hits and 130 at-bats. 5 home runs, 35 runs batted in for the product of New South Wales in Australia. On the ground towards first, Menard to his knees to field it, flips over to the pitcher Quinones covering, and there's 2 away. Good fundamental baseball there. Menard having to go just a couple of steps to his right, but well away from the bag with the right-handed hitter. And Quinones, as soon as the ball's hit to the right side, makes a beeline towards the foul line and then runs along the inside of the foul line, showing the target to Menard, who underhands, and a successful play to get the out. And now up comes Austin Gurney, the first baseman for the Moose Jaw Miller Express. He's number 5 in the WCBL in batting average at .403. Quinones' first pitch is in there for a strike. 52 hits for Gurney and 129 at-bats. 52 hits, tied for second most in the WCBL. Down low, 1-1. He has 2 home runs and 39 RBIs. That 39 RBI leads the WCBL. Austin Gurney don't miss too many games. He's played all but one. Outside, 2 balls, 1 strike. Quinones looked pretty good there. Gurney had an 8-game hitting streak ended in his last game. Back on the weekend. A 2-1 pitch. Cued off foul towards the Moose Jaw dugout. The count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Eduardo Sainz, the third baseman, is on deck. Quinones takes the sign from catcher Balin Sorensen and is ready to deliver. 2-2. Hit in the air down the left field line. A long run as that one is slicing foul and out of play. Count holds at 2-2. Gurney has just beaten up Barrie's pitching this year. 8 for 13 with 6 runs batted in. He especially comes up big, obviously, with men in scoring position or at least on base. Outside again, just outside, full count to Austin Gurney, who's got a good eye as well. He's walked 15 times. He's only struck out 12 times in 129 at-bats. Anytime you're better than 1 out of every 10, that's a pretty good eye. Popped up in the air, but going to be foul and over top of the third base bleachers and into the plaza area. Count holds again at 3 balls and 2 strikes on Austin Gurney, who's making Diego Quinones work. If he's going to get the third out here. Quinones kicks and delivers. This one's hit towards Ethan Menard, a line drive. He catches it, and that's the inning. 3 up, 3 down for Moose Jaw in the top of the first. No runs, no hits, no berries errors, nobody left on base. We're nicely underway here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. It's the Moose Jaw Miller Express. Nothing. The Saskatoon Berries coming to bat. You're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Bottom of the first inning, the Saskatoon Berries will come up to bat against Andre Zarate, the starting pitcher tonight for the Moose Jaw Miller Express. Zarate from Menifee, California, coming off his junior year at the University of St. Mary, a 6'1", 195-pound right-hander, making his 4th appearance of the season and his 2nd start. He has 2 losses and a 9.39 earned run average, but he's only thrown 7 2/3 innings. 13 hits, 9 runs, 8 of them earned, 5 strikeouts, and 5 walks. Andre Zarate will face Ethan Menard, Nathan Houston, and Abiam Medina here in the bottom of the first inning. Berries as a team hit .316, which is second only to the Okotoks Dogs. fact, they're second to the Dogs in a lot of the major hitting statistical departments. Zarate with an off-speed pitch first and a strike called on Menard, who's hitting .430, which is the top average in the Western Canadian Baseball League. 34 hits and 79 at-bats. He also is tied for the league lead in home runs with 8. Big swing and a big pop-up. Foul territory. And Austin Gurney able to put the squeeze on that. So one away here in the bottom of the first inning. It'll bring up William Houston. Houston hitting .360. 40 hits and 111 at-bats. 1 home run and a team-leading 27 runs batted in for the Melville, Saskatchewan product. Zarate's first pitch, Houston piles up. This one could be playable, but it will just get over top of the fence and into the first base bleachers. Strike one as catcher Gustavo Soto and first baseman Austin Gurney had a look over at that. Eventually they ran out of room. Zarate ready to deliver a one-strike pitch. Breaking ball outside, ball 1. Nathan Houston, a former member of the Moose Jaw Miller Express. And that one is outside, 2-1. His home run, if I'm not mistaken, came against Houston, or he came against Moose Jaw, I should say, a couple of nights ago. Down low, 3-1. Let's see. Yeah, it did. And it was a big home run. It allowed the Berries to complete a comeback. They were down in that game. Fouled off down the right field line. Gurney giving chase towards the Berries bullpen, but he won't get there in time. That'll bring the count full at 3-2. Saskatoon won that game 12-8 back on Friday. Moose Jaw had a lead going into the final 2 innings, and Houston hit a home run. He'll foul a pitch back. Stay alive at 3-2 with 1 away. In fact, Nathan Houston's hitting 6 for 12 head-to-head against the Miller Express with 5 RBI total. Zarate's payoff pitch. Swing on, fouled off. Tipped and not held by the catcher, so Houston stays alive. Gustavo Soto thought for a second maybe he'd missed it altogether, but home plate umpire Bobby Marks says, no, he got a piece of that. That's why you didn't catch it. Andres Zarate with a 3-2 pitch. Again, Houston hits it in the air. Shallow left field. Thomas Soto, the shortstop, ranging over right on the foul line, makes the catch with the left fielder trying to call him off, that being Tanner DeGrazia, but the out is recorded. And it'll bring up Abiam Medina. Second baseman for the Berries, who has the number 10 batting average in the WCBL coming into play tonight, hitting .372, 32 hits and 86 at-bats. 2 home runs and 21 RBI for the product of Ponce, Puerto Rico. The change-up is up high and away, ball 1. I don't get the sense that Zarate is very overpowering. He's going to try and finesse you. Nibble the corners, change speeds. Medina fouls this one off, and that's headed just beyond the party patio down the left field side, 1-1. Medina, in the last 2 years at Texas A&M International, located in Laredo, Texas. 1-1 pitch. This one is looped over top of the head of the first baseman, Austin Gurney, into right field for a base hit. And Medina now has hits in 16 of his last 17 games. It'll bring up the third baseman, Mason Rell. Mason Rell to the plate, Barrie's third baseman. First pitch up high, ball one. Medina not necessarily a threat to steal, although he takes a couple of quick jab steps off the first base bag. Big swing and a miss by Rell, and it's 1-1. Abian Medina has a couple of stolen bases, but he's also been caught once. Good left-handed bat. He's hitting for a high average. Plays his position well at second. Took again a couple of jab steps towards second and then stopped. Pitch inside, 2-1 to Rell. Coming off his freshman year at Indiana State University. Up high, 3-1. Second time in this half inning that Andres Zarate has gone to 3-1. First time Nathan Houston fouled the pitch off. Zarate hanging on to the ball a long time. This one on the ground towards the shortstop Soto. No play at first. Now his high throw will take the first baseman Gurney off the bag. Rell, who was hustling down the line, prompted a high throw from Soto. And the Berries have runners on first and second with the throwing error to the shortstop, Thomas Soto. He probably had time to make the underhanded flip to the second baseman. So now it's Ethan Murdoch. The second baseman was there. And I thought Soto had time to flip the easy way to Ben Wolochuk for the out. But he chose to throw to first and got a little bit too much height on that one, forcing Austin Gurney off the bag. Ball one to Ethan Murdoch, who's at the plate now. Swift Current product. 2 away, runners on first and second. Zarate's pitch, foul back to the screen, 1-1. Ethan Murdoch hitting .286, 28 hits and 98 at-bats. 3 home runs and 20 runs batted in. He's on an 8-game hitting streak. 9 for 33, which is essentially a .270 average. 273 to be exact. Down low, 2-1. 7 RBI in those 8 games for Ethan Murdoch. He's got a duck on the pond at second, and Abian Medina, if he can get a base hit out into the outfield. Andres Zarate with a 2-1 pitch upcoming. Hit in the air, shallow center field. Soto going out behind the bag is there and will make the catch. That ends the bottom of the first inning. The Berries leave a couple of runners on. For Saskatoon, no runs, 1 hit. There was 1 Moose Jaw error and 2 runners left on base. After an inning, no score. Saskatoon and Moose Jaw is your watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Yep, that was just a 1 hit. Yep, no, yep. But if it's caught, it's not a hit. Yeah, the ball has to be in order to get a hit, the ball has to be hit and the guy has to be on base safely. Yep. No problem. Top of the second inning here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. Scoreless ball game. Saskatoon Berries and the Moose Jaw Miller Express. Miller Express will send up the middle third of their order. It'll be the third baseman Eduardo Sainz, left fielder Tanner DeGrazia, and the catcher Gustavo Soto to face Diego Quinones. Quinones got through the first inning with 17 pitches unofficially. Eduardo Sainz, the third baseman, will lead it off. Right-handed hitting third baseman from Laredo, Texas. He's a teammate of Abian Medina's, the Barry's second baseman in the university season, as the first pitch to Sainz is down low. Sainz attends Texas A&M International, coming off his junior season there. Hitting .247 with Moose Jaw. Down low, 2-0. 24 hits in 97 at-bats. 3 of the 24 hits have been home runs. 18 RBI. .2-0 pitch. Hit on the ground between short and third. A base hit for Moose Jaw. Leadoff man's on base. Bring up the left fielder Tanner DeGrazia. He's hitting .282, 31 hits in 110 at-bats. 2 home runs and 16 RBI. For the product of Rochester, New York, coming off his junior year at Pomona College. DeGrazia leads the WCBL in a painful stat as he takes a strike. He's been hit by a pitch 17 times already this year. We're just past the halfway mark. Diego Quinones, with a man on, does not want to hit him. He could use a double play ball. Down and away, ball 1, 1-1. Gustavo Soto, the catcher, on deck. Quinones, exaggerated stance to take the sign, gets up and throws a pitch on the inside corner, a breaking ball, 1-2. Kind of a backdoor type of pitch that DeGrazia is looking back at home plate umpire Bobby Mark and says, okay, I see what you're doing. I understand where the strike zone is. 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. First strikeout of the night for Quinones. First out of the top of the second for Moose Jaw. It'll bring up the catcher Gustavo Soto. Again, to my knowledge, not related to the shortstop Thomas Soto. Gustavo is from Ciudad Juarez in Mexico, coming off his junior year at Ecclesia. I'd have to look that up on Google. Google is my friend in order to look up that sort of a thing. Ball 1 to Gustavo Soto down low. Not going to take the moment to do so, though, right now. Runner on first in Sainz. Gustavo Soto at the plate. Diego Quinones ready to deliver a 1-0 pitch. Fouled off at the plate, 1-1. First baseman Jackson Yeager is on deck. It can't be first baseman. Actually, it is first baseman. Yeager's playing first. Gurney, I have to figure out where he is. I think he's in right field, if I'm not mistaken. Normally plays first. This one's well hit to right field. Going back, though, and there's lots of room in front of the warning track to make the catch, is Ethan Murdoch. Well hit by Gustavo Soto, but that's a second out. So now it is Jackson Yeager, the first baseman, hitting .236. 29 hits in 123 at-bats. He leads the Miller Express in home runs with 5. Moose Jaw 8th in the league with 24 home runs as a team. Yeager has 5 of them. He also leads the team with 45 strikeouts. Fouls the... Well, no, they're saying that's a strike on the swinging miss, but off the glove of Balin Sorensen to the backstop, and that allows Eduardo Sainz to advance to second on what would have to be a pass ball. So ball 1, or strike 1, I should say, on Jackson Yeager. I thought for a second that maybe he got a piece of that and it was fouled off, but not according to the home plate umpire, Bobby Mark. So runner on second with 2 away here in the top of the second inning. Quinones with a long look at the second base runner on the inside corner. Strike 2 to Yeager. 30 runs batted in, tied for third in the league in RBI. In fact, the Moose Jaw Miller Express have the top 3 guys in RBI in the league, with Gurney leading the way with 39, William Edwards second with 35, and Yeager with 30. 2 strike pitch, low and away, ball 1. 1-2 on Jackson Yeager. Looking to break the ice on the scoreboard. Quinones set and ready to deliver the 1-2 pitch. Fastball just down low, 2-2. Some of the Diamond Club umpires thought that that was a strike. Not so, says Bobby Mark. Yeager at the ready. Quinones ready to deliver. 2-2 with 2 out here in the second inning. Swing and a miss, strike 3 on a breaking ball. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Diego Quinones. No runs, 1 hit for Moose Jaw in the top of the second. No Barry's errors. 1 runner left on base. After an inning and a half, we have yet to have a run scored between Saskatoon and Moose Jaw as you're watching Barry's baseball on FloCollege. Left on base. So if you have a runner when the inning ends and you've still got as many as 3 guys, yep. No, it matters how many are on base. It's okay. Yep. Nope. Makes sense. No. Andres Zarate back out for the second inning to pitch for the Moose Jaw Miller Express. He'll face the Berries 6, 7, and 8 hitters in the order. Carter Beck, Corey Waters, and Balin Sorensen. Head coach Joe Carnahan has dropped Beck down in the order a touch. He's either been the leadoff man or the number 2 hitter for his 22 games that he's played in. Number 6 hitter tonight, in a little bit of a funk at the plate. Just 1 for 11 in his last 3 games. Yet he has 4 RBIs during that time. So he has been productive, even though he's not getting the hits that he is accustomed to. And the first pitch is up and away, ball 1. Carter Beck hitting .326, 29 hits and 89 at-bats, 2 home runs, 19 RBIs. Of course, those numbers would be better if we can ever get the game sheet back into use from the game on June 6th. That was there last week, but was taken out because of technical problems and still hasn't come back in. 2 balls and a strike on Beck as he takes a pitch. Zarate working quickly. 2-1, swing and a miss, strike 2 on Beck. 2-2 the count. Corey Waters, the DH. Balin Sorensen, the catcher, guaranteed to hit this inning for Saskatoon in this scoreless ball game. 2-2 is upstairs and away. Full count. Second time that Zarate has gone full already tonight to just 6 hitters. 3-2 delivery is hit in the air to center field. Not having to move much out there in center field to make the catch is Pacey Phillips, and there's one away. Let's check defensively for the Moose Jaw Miller Express. In the outfield, it's Austin Gurney in right field, Pacey Phillips in center, and Tanner DeGrazia in left. Around the infield from left to right, Eduardo Sainz at third base, Thomas Soto at short, Ben Wallachek's the second baseman, and at first base, Jackson Yeager. Gustavo Soto, the catcher, and Andres Zarate is the pitcher as Corey Waters fouls off the first pitch from Zarate for a strike. Down low, according to home plate umpire Bobby Mark, 1-1. Waters from Saskatoon hitting .320. 31 hits in 97 at-bats, 5 home runs, 21 runs batted in. This one's up high, but swatted, lashed into center field. Tomahawked, basically, by Waters. He liked that one up in his eyes. So he's on first base with the Berries' second hit of the game, and up comes Balin Sorensen, the catcher. Hitting .284, 29 hits and 102 at-bats. 3 home runs, 21 RBIs. For the product of Monroe, Louisiana. Swing and a miss at the first pitch, strike 1. Balin rarely gets cheated on his hacks at the plate. 1 strike on him. Zarate. This one's on the ground towards the right side. Taken by the second baseman Wallachek. Only play is to first to retire Sorensen as Waters advances to second. And there's 2 away. The left fielder Jamal Freeman coming to the plate. Jalen Freeman. Jalen from Houston, Texas. Hitting .303, 27 hits and 89 at-bats. 16 runs batted in. Down low with the first pitch, ball 1. Freeman on an 8-game hitting streak, during which he's gone 11 for 29. 7 runs batted in. He's got a runner in scoring position at second base in Waters. Second time on as many innings the Berries have had a man on second. Freeman pops this one up. Playable in foul territory and unable to come up with it. Eduardo Sainz. He had a beat on it, but then lost it, and it fell about 1.5 feet away from him. So 1-1 the count. Didn't think the wind was much of a factor tonight. West at 7 kilometers an hour. Maybe it was. 1-1 count on Jalen Freeman. Down and away, 2-1. Catcher Gustavo Soto trying to frame the pitch, bringing the glove up a little bit to make it look like it was a strike, and Bobby Mark not falling for that. And they have a little bit of a discussion about that. 2-1 the count on Jalen Freeman. Swing and a miss. Strike two. 2-2. Top of the order, Ethan Menard on deck for the Berries. Needs Freeman to get on base in order to get a chance to hit here in the bottom of the second. Again, deuce is wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Inning 2. On the ground towards the second baseman, Wallachek. Fields it, throws over to first in plenty of time, and that's the end of the inning. Berries get a hit. Leave a runner on base. No errors by Moose Jaw in the bottom of the second through 2 innings. We are scoreless as you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. What's that, sorry? No, just the one. No. Diego Quinones played some in the field in 2022 at Luna Community College, based in Las Vegas, New Mexico. Played 36 games, 70 at-bats. He had 22 hits, hit .314. That's not bad, but he's strictly a pitcher now, going into his 3rd inning of work in this start, his 6th of the season with the Berries. Face the number 8 hitter, Pacey Phillips. Center fielder tonight for Moose Jaw. Phillips is only playing in his 6th game. Foul is the first pitch off towards the first base area. Strike 1. Ben Wallachek, the second baseman, and back to the top of the order for Thomas Soto, the shortstop, for Moose Jaw here in the top of the 3rd inning. Diego Quinones. Outside, ball 1. Pacey Phillips is from Kerrobert, Saskatchewan, coming off his freshman year at Bismarck State. 5 games, he's hitting .364, 4 hits and 11 at-bats. Most of that coming against the Berries in 2 games. Fouls a pitch back, 1-2. Phillips is 3 for 9 in the most 2 recent games that Moose Jaw have played against the Berries. Back a week ago here, and then back again on Friday in Moose Jaw. 1-2 pitch, fouled off by Phillips. Good play by the first base coach, fielding that 2-hopper barehanded. Count remains 1-2. One-two pitch fouled off, and that's into the plaza area over top of the third base dugout. Count holds at 1-2 on Pacey Phillips. All 5'9", 180 pounds of him. But he swings a pretty good bat from what I've seen so far. And again, he fouls a pitch off. He's also proving to be a tough out. That hit up high on the screen, and the Miller Express finally retrieve it in foul territory off to the third base side. Ready to go again. 1-2 pitch on the ground, back up the middle and through into center field for a base hit. Second hit of the night for Moose Jaw. Phillips is on. It'll bring up Ben Wallachek, second baseman, who has a real good eye. Leads the league in free passes with 27 coming into tonight. In fact, he's walked as many times as he has safe base hits. 27 for 88, hitting .307. On base percentage would be great. First pitch in there for a strike. Let's see. If we go to the expanded stuff here, Wallachek's on base percentage is .496. Down low, 1-1. So essentially, every 2 times he's at bat, Ben Wallachek's getting on, either by hit or walk. Throw over to first, check on the runner Pacey Phillips, who has yet to attempt a stolen base in the 5 previous games he's played in, but Quinones noting the lead that he's getting at first. This one at the knees, strike 2, 1-2 on Ben Wallachek. Shortstop Thomas Soto on deck. Quinones 1-2 pitch. This one's lined wide of third base, foul. Wallachek stays alive at 1-2. Quinones shakes off a couple of signs from Balin Sorensen, his catcher. Ready to go, 1-2 pitch. Line towards right field and through for a base hit. Fielded in right field by Ethan Murdoch and returned quickly into the infield. Phillips advances to second and no further. First and second, nobody out for Moose Jaw in the top of the 3rd inning, and shortstop Thomas Soto coming up. Soto grounded out to shortstop Nathan Houston the first time up. A generous out call from the first base umpire Mark Clark on the opening play of the game. Nathan Houston fielding the ball in behind the bag at second, spinning and firing, and looked to be a little late, but called out was Thomas Soto. Corner infielders moving up, and Thomas Soto showed bunt and pulled back and takes a strike. Mason Rell at third and Ethan Menard at first on the edge of the infield grass in case Thomas Soto decides to lay down a sacrifice and get both runners into scoring position, second and third. He might just very well swing away now. One strike. Oh, he shows bunt again. This one's down low, 1-1. Quinones. He had a little jam brewing here. 2 runners on and nobody out in the top of the 3rd inning. On the outside corner for a strike. 1-2. Well, now it's highly unlikely Soto's going to be bunting. On a 4-game hitting streak. Hitting 5 for 17 in that time. Just under 300. Left-handed hitter. Quinones holds, now delivers. 1-2. This one's hit into the hole and through into left field. A base hit being sent home. Here's the throw from Jalen Freeman home, and Balin Sorensen has to take it on the foul side of home plate and could not get the tag on Pacey Phillips, who comes in to score. Wallachek held at second base, and Soto was on with an RBI single, and Moose Jaw leads 1-0. 3 singles to start this inning for the Miller Express, and up comes the DH, William Edwards, who grounded out to Ethan Menard his first time up. Diego Quinones. Edwards shows bunt, drops it in front of home plate. Quinones throws on to first, his only play, and gets the out. But the runners advance. Ben Wallachek to third and Thomas Soto to second. For the RBI machine with the Moose Jaw Miller Express, Austin Gurney, who has 39 ribbies so far this year. 1 away, runners on second and third. Bobby Mark, the home plate umpire, directing Mark Clark, the first base umpire, from the third base side of second base to the other side. And that one's in the dirt and back to the backstop. And Wallachek will score on the wild pitch. Soto advances to third. Ball 1 to Austin Gurney. 2-0 now for the Moose Jaw Miller Express. And Balin Sorensen and Diego Quinones may have had a miscommunication there. Sorensen may have thought something was coming that Sorensen didn't throw. Crossed him up. Possibly. Just guessing. Home plate umpire Bobby Mark making a notation in a book. Now ready to go again. Left-handed hitting Austin Gurney coming in. It's 10 doubles, a triple, and 2 home runs to go with 39 RBIs. He lined out his first time up to the first baseman Ethan Menard. He's up 2-0 now on the count against Quinones. Eduardo Sainz, the third baseman, on deck. 2-0 pitch is in there for a strike. Gurney taking all the way. Probably wanted it in a certain spot and didn't have it. Two-one pitch. Popped up and out of play, and it'll be into the third base bleachers, and nobody's brave enough to try and catch it with bare hands, so the ball fouls into the seating area. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Quinones out of the full windup here with the runner on third and 1 away. 2-2 pitch. Gurney fouls it off again. Stays alive at 2-2 as that one, I think, got over the plaza and into the parking lot, barely. Quinones, in taking the sign from the catcher, has his plant foot planted on the rubber. This one is slicing, going to fall in, a base hit down the left field line. Freeman throwing it back into the infield, but Gurney will make his way into second base with a double, and scoring on the play is Thomas Soto to make it 3-0. Gurney's 40th RBI of the season. 1 away and a runner on second, and Eduardo Sainz coming up for Moose Jaw. And here comes head coach Joe Carnahan for the Berries to have a conversation with Diego Quinones. 4 hits in the inning, 3 runs have scored, a sacrifice bunt thrown into the mix. That's the only out so far here in the top of the third. As Sainz comes up, he singled his first time up, leading off the second inning. Mound visit is done. Sainz with his single in the second inning, extending his hitting streak to 4 games. home run and 4 RBIs in that time for him. Diego Quinones looking to stop the bleeding here in the top of the third. First pitch in for a strike. Signs is tied for the league lead in sacrifice flies with 5. He's not in that position just yet. Gurney is on second base. Unless he hits it a long way, somebody makes a spectacular catch and doesn't get up right away, and Gurney's able to score all the way from second. Breaking pitch in for a strike. 0-2 on Signs with Tanner DeGracia, the left fielder, on deck. Quinones with a 2-strike offering about to happen. And called strike 3 on the breaking ball. Signs thought it might have been a little low, but a big strikeout for Diego Quinones to get a second out. Now he'll face Tanner DeGracia, who struck out his first time up back in the second inning. DeGracia comes into the game on a 4-game hitting streak. 5 for 19 now in that period of time. With a couple of RBI. First pitch swing and a miss, strike 1. Three nothing Moose Jaw. All the runs coming here in the top of the third inning as we've got some action down the right field line in the Berries bullpen. Some long toss to start. Just low and inside, ball 1. Let's see who that is now that's stepped up on the bullpen mound if we get a chance. It's Matthias Tronson. 1-1 count. Hit in the air, center field. Beck going back. He'll stop. He's got room. He makes the catch, and that's the end of the inning. But a productive top of the third for the Moose Jaw Miller Express here in Saskatoon. They score 3 runs on 4 hits. No Berries errors, and 1 runner left on base. After 2.5, it is Saskatoon trailing the Moose Jaw Miller Express 3-0 as you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. So Andres Zarate has been staked to a 3-0 lead as he comes out for the bottom of the third inning to face the bottom of the Saskatoon Berries order, leading off with Ethan Menard, first baseman, then Nathan Houston, the shortstop, and Abian Medina, the second baseman. Berries have had runners on in each of the first 2 innings, but have not been able to cash them in. First pitch from Zarate to Menard, down low, ball 1. Ethan Menard on a 4-game hitting streak coming into tonight. hitting .450, and he extends it with that base hit right back through the middle. Make that 10 for 22 now for Ethan Menard on a 5-game hitting streak, which is .455. Nathan Houston popped up to the shortstop Thomas Soto his first time up. That was down the left field line, and Soto ran a long way to make the play. Up and in on Houston, ball 1. Nathan Houston has been hit 7 times this year by a pitch. That does not lead the team. Cooper Westland's been hit 8 times. Breaking ball outside, 2-0. There's one thing the Berries have done well this season, and you have to do a lot of things well to be 27-4 as they are, but they generally respond after giving up runs. Swing and a miss, strike 1 by Houston on a breaking pitch. Runner going. There's a throw down, and going too far with the slide was Ethan Menard. The initial call would have been safe, but Menard rolled on by the base and is out, tagged out by the second baseman Wallachek, so 1 away. Houston takes ball 3. It's 3-1. That was a bit of a delayed steal by Menard. As Houston hits this one, one hop taken by Thomas Soto, throw on to first in time. And now just like that, the Berries have 2 away here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Menard thrown out for a second time trying to steal this year. Has 5 stolen bases. It's Abiam Medina coming to the plate. He singled in the 1st inning. On the outside corner, strike 1. Andre Zarate, with some help from his catcher Gustavo Soto to throw out Ethan Menard. That pitch outside, 1-1. A little freer and easier here in the bottom of the 3rd inning now with 2 away and nobody on. Matthias Tronson continues to throw down the right field line for the Berries. Medina hits this one high in the air, down the left field side, coming over into foul territory, and making the catch is Tanner DeGrazia, and the Berries end up going out with 3 batters. 1 hit thrown out by a caught stealing. No errors by Moose Jaw, and nobody left on base. After 3 complete, it is Moose Jaw 3, Saskatoon no score, as you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Taking a look at the unofficial line score as we head into the top of the 4th inning for the Moose Jaw Miller Express. 3 runs on 5 hits. They've committed 1 error and left 2 runners on base. Saskatoon Berries have no runs on 3 hits. They have yet to commit an error. And they have left 3 runners on base. As we head to the top of the 4th inning, Diego Quinones out to face the numbers 6, 7, and 8 hitters for the Moose Jaw Miller Express. Catcher Gustavo Soto, first baseman Jackson Yeager, and center fielder Pacey Phillips. Soto flew out to right field, hit a pretty healthy drive to right field. Caught by Ethan Menard just short of the warning track. Back in the 2nd inning. Gustavo Soto on a mini 3-game hitting streak coming in. Takes a first pitch strike. Has 4 runs batted in those 3 games. 5 for 12 now. So a little above 400 on the streak. Outside, ball 1 on a breaking ball from Quinones. These same 2 teams will play again tomorrow night here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field at 7 o'clock. Hit on the ground to third. Nice pick by Mason Rell on a bad hop. He'll throw it on to first in time for an out. That ball shot up, and he had to react quickly with the reflexes on the left hand and came up with it and threw on to first. Nice play by Mason Rell at third. So now Jackson Yeager, the first baseman who struck out against Quinones back in the 2nd inning. First pitch swinging, popped it up. Shallow right field. Medina is there to make the catch. And quickly there's 2 away for Quinones here in the top of the 4th inning. It'll bring up Pacey Phillips, the center fielder, who singled and scored the first Moose Jaw run back last inning. Phillips now 4 for 10 on the season. Hitting .400. Yes, I can definitely do that math. First pitch on the inside corner, strike 1 from Diego Quinones. Throwing is stopped down the right field line. Showing bunt was Phillips, and he offered at it, missed, 2 strikes. Starting to see some action down the left field line in the Moose Jaw bullpen. Andres Zarate has only thrown 7 2/3 innings coming into today. Phillips bounces this one up to third. On the line, Rell with it. The long throw across the diamond in time. And that's a 3 up, 3 down, top of the 4th inning for Moose Jaw. No runs, no hits, no Barry's errors, nobody left on base. Moose Jaw leads 3-0 going to the bottom of the 4th inning as you're watching Barry's baseball on FloCollege. What's that? Yeah? No. Can't do much about the shadow. Yeah. Middle third of the Saskatoon Berries order coming up to face Andres Zarate here in the bottom of the 4th inning for the Saskatoon Berries. They'll throw the ball down, and we'll be ready to go with third baseman Mason Rell, who made 2 nice defensive plays in the top half of the inning. So a lot of times you see that. Make a nice play, get a chance to hit right away. Look down the left field line, and we see Abe Alberg starting to warm up in the bullpen for Moose Jaw. Zarate's first pitch is in there for a strike. And strike two on Mason Rell, who reached on an error by the shortstop Thomas Soto back in the first inning. The only error so far in the ball game. Two strike pitches bounced in, 1-2. Right fielder Ethan Murdoch, center fielder Carter Beck, guaranteed to hit this half inning for the Berries. Zarate's 1-2 pitch to Rell is outside, ball 2, 2-2 with a breaking pitch. Rell hits this one in the air, center field, going back, and with room to make the catch is Pacey Phillips. And there's one away. Out of the 10 outs so far, no strikeouts for Zarate. 3 ground balls and 7 balls caught in the air. Ethan Murdoch at the plate. And a first pitch strike. He lined out to the shortstop Soto back to finish off the bottom of the first inning, I should say. Inside, ball 1, 1-1. Andres Zarate, 1-1 pitch to Ethan Murdoch, who hits a fly ball to left field. Tanner DeGrazia goes back a couple of steps and makes the catch. And there's 2 away. So now Carter Beck coming to the plate. Beck flew out to center, leading off the bottom of the second inning. Beck is 1 for 10 against Moose Jaw this year, with a couple of RBI. This one's a line shot, and that'll find grass. And then split the outfielders, almost get to the warning track. Beck digging for second and will get in there, standing up. A 2-out double for Carter Beck, his 6th double of the season. But now Corey Waters has to try and bring him in. Waters will attend Winthrop University in Rock Hill, South Carolina this coming college season, but he has attended McCook Mid-Plains Community College, the McCook campus in McCook, Nebraska, the last 2 years. He's done some pitching there as well. Has yet to throw a pitch for the Berries this summer. He would be the 21st arm, I guess, on the roster. On the ground towards Thomas Soto, who fields it cleanly, throws on to first in time, and that is the end of the inning. The one hit by Carter Beck, the Berries have a hit in each of the 4 innings against Andre Zarate, but have been unable to bunch him up and score runs. 1 hit, no errors, 1 runner left on base, I should say, and after 4 complete, it's Moose Jaw 3, Saskatoon no score, as you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Yes, I believe so, yes. Yep. I'm fine. I know you did. I saw. I don't know.
I've never tried. I've always worked on this camera.
Let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard in the Western Canadian Baseball League tonight. There are just two other games on the go. And in the top of the fourth inning, Lethbridge at home leads Brooks 1-0. Bottom of the third inning, Regina with a 2-0 lead in Weyburn. That's all that's going on in the WCBL tonight. 6 games tomorrow night. Everybody's in action tomorrow. Diego Quinones finishing his warm-up tosses, ready to pitch for the Berries in the top of the fifth inning. He'll face the second baseman, Ben Wallachek, and then back up to the top of the order for the shortstop, Thomas Soto, and the designated hitter, William Edwards. Wallachek singled his first time up. He's 2 for 9 in the season series against the Berries with that hit. Takes a first pitch strike. Unofficially, Diego Quinones has thrown 69 pitches now. That one is outside, ball 1. Balin Sorensen thought it was a strike. Quinones. That one is called strike. 1-2. That was the count Wallachek had on him the last time he was up. Fouled a pitch off and then got a base hit to the right side. This one's hit towards third baseman Rell, who fields it, throws on to first. Ethan Menard with a good stretch to get that out, as that was almost thrown a little way. One away. We had 2 ice cream cones on that play. The initial pick at third baseman saw a lot of baseball out of the edge of the glove, and then more baseball on the edge of the glove on Ethan Menard at first base. Doesn't matter. Still call him out. You don't draw pictures in the scorebook. Ball 1 to Thomas Soto. Singled and drove in a run his last time up. He's 1 for 2 as he improved his batting average, or his hitting streak, I should say, to 5 games of that third inning single. Fouls a pitch off, and that is over the third base bleachers. 1-1. Soto's in his 3rd season with the Moose Jaw Miller Express. And that's called strike that Soto doesn't like. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Soto last year hit .321 in 51 games, 17 runs batted in. His rookie season hit .288 with 12 RBI in 2023. Fouled off at the plate. Stays alive at 1-2. Thomas Soto 2 for 15 now in the season series against the Berries, hitting .133. 1-2 pitch. Down low, 2-2. Soto has a good eye. He's been hit by a pitch 10 times. 2-2 pitches down low, ball 3. Full count. He's walked 26 times and struck out just 20. More walks than being struck out is a good thing to have on your side. And he'll draw a walk there. So 1 away, Soto on first. He has 9 stolen bases this year. Moose Jaw has stolen 49 bases, 7th of the 12 teams in the league. William Edwards coming to the plate. Grounded out to first his first time up and executed a sacrifice bunt that helped Moose Jaw get 2 more runs home. A strike thrown in by Diego Quinones. Right fielder Austin Gurney on deck for Moose Jaw. They have a runner on base here in the top of the 5th with 1 away and look to increase their lead. Breaking pitch outside, 1-1. Looked to be like a pretty fair slider off the right arm of Diego Quinones. Good eye by Edwards to not offer at it. Now throw on to first to get Soto, and no, he's able to dive in just in time. Had Soto walking towards his lead towards second base, and he had to quickly reverse his field and dive back to the bag. And he'll do it again. That one's maybe a better throw. If he'd thrown that one the first time, he might have had him out on the pickoff. But Quinones has a good move. A 1-1 pitch upcoming to William Edwards. Soto might just take off now. Nope. They throw over again, and Menard had the tag, but it was on the backside. And the hand is in before the backside was touched, so still 1-1 the count. And 3 consecutive pickoff attempts here by Diego Quinones. Now he's ready to go. 1-1 pitch. Inside, 2-1. Joe Carnahan says, "Where was that?" From the first base dugout. Quinones with a 2-1 pitch upcoming to William Edwards. That is in there for a strike. 2-2. Top of the 5th inning here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. On a pretty nice night in Saskatoon. A throw over to first again, but Soto able to get back. Again, they're saying mostly cloudy at the airport. It's partly cloudy here, 21 degrees Celsius. Barely a wind, north at 3 kilometers per hour. Again, a throw over. Soto dives back. He's definitely getting his uniform pants dirty, and Quinones is getting practice in with that pickoff move. Two and two the count on William Edwards. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 4th strikeout of the night for Diego Quinones. There's 2 away here in the top of the 5th inning, and Austin Gurney, the right fielder, coming up. Gurney doubled and drove in Thomas Soto with the 3rd Moose Jaw run back in the 3rd inning. Gurney with hits in 9 of his last 10 games. 19 for 43 in that time, 2 home runs and 14 RBI. Both of his home runs have come in the last 10 games. First pitch swinging, popped up. Left side of the infield, Nathan Houston, the shortstop, calling for it. He'll make the catch. And that's the end of the top of the 5th inning. No runs, no hits. No Barry's errors, 1 runner left on base. After 4.5, we're halfway there. It is 3-0 for Moose Jaw over Saskatoon as you're watching Barry's baseball on FloCollege. Yep. Back for the bottom of the fifth inning, Andres Zarate is back out to pitch for Moose Jaw. Unofficially has thrown 58 pitches through 4 innings. In behind him down the left field line, warming up in the bullpen, is Abe Alberg. But Zarate is having a pretty good appearance so far, pitching tonight for Moose Jaw. Andres Zarate has got his longest appearance. Well, he's tied it, actually. Through 4 innings against Energy City in a 3-1 loss back on June 26th. His first pitch to Balin Sorensen here in the bottom of the fifth inning is inside, ball 1. On the ground to third, bobbled, picked up, throw on to first base, and that's going to be wide of the mark. Sorensen reaches. Going to be an error on the third baseman, Eduardo Sainz, who bobbled that one that was hit right to him. So Sorensen is on to lead off, and it's Jalen Freeman coming to the bat. Freeman grounded out to the second baseman to finish off the bottom of the second inning. Down and in, ball 1 to Jalen Freeman. Who's 3 for 12 on the season against Moose Jaw, hitting .250. One-zero count on the Barry's left fielder. Up high, 1-1, or sorry, 2-0. 2-0 the count on Jalen Freeman. Sorensen will draw a throw, and he'll fall back to the bag at first safely. Andres Zarate, the pitcher for Moose Jaw, behind 2-0 to Jalen Freeman. Up high in the zone, 2-1. The strike called. Freeman takes a moment. Not sure if he's angry at himself or upset with the pitch, with the called strike. A 2-1 delivery coming from Zarate as he holds on to the ball for a while, then puts that one down low. Gustavo Soto with a block. 3-1 the count. Top of the order, Ethan Menard is on deck for Saskatoon. Zarate with a 3-1 pitch up coming to Freeman. Sorensen on first. Nobody out. Long hold of the ball. Popped up. Left side of the infield. Soto and Sainz both calling. Shortstop Soto takes charge and makes the catch for the first out. So now Ethan Menard will come up. The league's leading average hitter. Singled his last time up. Improved his hitting streak to 5 games. He's 6 for 11 head-to-head against Moose Jaw this season. .545 average, that is. Sorensen at first and Menard, fellow Louisianan, at the plate. That one is a called strike on a breaking pitch up high in the zone. Zarate holds the ball again for a little while. Pitch, and Menard pops it up. Foul. That will end up in the first base bleachers. Nobody wants to try and catch it with the bare hands. 2 strikes on the Barry's first baseman. Decent sized crowd on a Monday night. They're waiting to explode here a little bit on what they're calling game show night. A lot of game show type references around the ballpark. Breaking pitch down and away, 1-2 on Menard. Shortstop Nathan Houston on deck. Fans enjoying the game show part, but they'd enjoy it even more if they can get the Berries to get some hits together. A throw back over to first to check on Sorensen. Back safely, of course. He barely got any kind of a lead, although now he takes about 4 or 5 steps and he's out there a pretty good distance. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Menard. Zarate's delivery. Hit back up the middle. Soto can't come up with it. Neither can the second baseman Wallachek. Knocked down, and Sorensen's to second. And Menard reaches first. Checking with the official scores, that is a base hit for Menard. If one of them, the only way there was going to be outs there would be if Soto was able to field it and he had a chance. The second baseman backhanding it was going the wrong way towards left field. He wouldn't have had a chance. And now here we go with Dustin Mulliken, the pitching coach for the Moose Jaw Miller Express, coming out to have a chat with Andres Zarate. Had a nice catch up with Dustin before the game. The Mulliken family, very familiar with. His father, Doug, is in the crowd. I believe his mom, Lisa, is there as well. Uncle Lorne down in Regina Beach. Maybe tuning in, for all I know. First and second. If you are, Lorne, I owe you a phone call one of these days. Soon. Nathan Houston 0 for 2 tonight. 1 out here with 2 men on. And a breaking pitch down and away, ball 1. Down the left field line, Abe Alberg, I would have to think, is ready. He's been throwing for a while. It's the second inning that he's been up throwing, getting ready. Now, Zarate wants the catcher to run through the signs again, and Houston calls time. ABM Medina, the second baseman for the Berries, is on deck. Mentioned Eduardo Sainz tied for the league lead in sacrifice flies with 5. Here's the guy he's tied with, Nathan Houston. Off-speed pitch up and in, ball 2, 2-0 on the Berries shortstop. Has hits in 13 of his last 14 games. Hitting .455 in that time. And again he calls time. As backing off the rubber is Zarate. His pace when nobody's on base is quick. As soon as somebody gets on, he slows up. And again, Houston showed wanting time and now back and ready to go. That pitch up high, 3-0. Zarate 1 pitch away from loading up the bases to bring up ABM Medina. 3-0 the count. Houston again calls for time. Zarate and Gustavo Soto taking their time getting together on what they want to throw here. Should be pretty easy. 3-0, you throw a fastball down the middle because he's likely taking, although Houston shows bunt, and indeed he takes, and it is a strike. Now you have a decision on what you want to throw. You're still behind to the hitter. You still got to throw a strike, but you don't necessarily have to throw a fastball. You can throw a breaking pitch of some kind, which he does, and it's a called strike. And the fans don't like it. They thought it was high. So now suddenly it's a full count on Nathan Houston. Runners on first and second with 1 away here in the bottom of the 5th inning. This could be a pivotal at-bat in this ball game. Definitely a pivotal inning. The Miller Express leading 3-0, and the Berries getting a runner in scoring position here with less than 2 outs. Houston on the ground. Soto fields it to second for 1. Wallachek doesn't handle the exchange very well. The runner is out at second. Menard. Houston is on a fielder's choice on what could have been a double play ball. Sorensen advances to third. I think Ben Wallachek was so anxious to make a play that he bobbled the ball. So now we're going to get a pitching change because the Moose Jaw head coach, Eric Marriott, is headed out to the mound, and that's going to be it for Andre Zarate. 1 out short of qualifying for a victory in the ball game, leading 3-0 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. But he'll give way now to Abe Alberg from Solon Springs, Wisconsin, coming off his freshman year at Colorado Mesa. 5'9", 195-pound right-hander. Abe Alberg, let's find him on the roster. He has made 5 appearances in relief. No record, 5.40 earned run average. He's pitched 5 innings, allowed 3 hits, 3 runs, all earned, has struck out 8 and walked 7. Alberg's last appearance was on July 3rd, back on Thursday in Regina. He pitched 2 innings in relief, gave up 2 hits, 2 runs, both earned, struck out 4, walked 2 in the 1916 Moose Jaw victory over the Red Sox. Abe Alberg will face Barry's second baseman, Abiam Medina, with runners on first and third and 2 away in the bottom of the 5th inning. Andres Zarate pitches 4 2/3 innings. He allowed 5 hits. He's still on the hook for the 2 runners on base, so that has not been closed yet, although any runs he gives up now will be unearned. Didn't strike out a batter. Didn't walk a batter either. Scattered 5 hits and had a couple of errors behind him in the field. Faced 20 batters. And Abiam Medina now ready to go against Abe Alberg. First pitch hit on the ground. That'll get between first and second into right field, a base hit. And the Berries have a run on the board as Braylon Sorensen comes in from third. An RBI single for Abiam Medina, his 22nd RBI of the year, as Nathan Houston advances to second. And it'll bring up Mason Rell. 3-1 the score. Moose Jaw with the lead. There's 1 unearned run charged to Zarate. Rell got on an error in the first inning and flew out to center, leading off the 4th. We're in the bottom of the 5th. Low and away, ball 1 from Alberg. "75 pitches unofficially." As there's a strike to Rell. 75 pitches unofficially for Andres Zarate in his 4 2/3 innings. 1-1 the count on Mason Rell. Fouled off to the screen, 1-2. Mason Rell had 2 home runs with Indiana State this past winter. He has 1 home run with the Berries so far this year. He'd like to do that. Well, no, he doesn't have a home run. Not according to the stats. He must have had one in Moose Jaw in that game back on June 6th, which isn't part of the stats. He stays alive with that foul back to the screen at 1-2. Ethan Murdoch, the right fielder, on deck. Two out here in the bottom of the 5th. Inside, Soto manages to save that from going to the screen. 2 balls, 2 strikes. A row of deuces across the top row in the scoreboard in right field here at Next Gen Patch Cairns Field. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Mason Rell calls time. And now a balk is called on Auberg. And the runners will advance. Houston to third. Medina to second. On the balk ball. That was called by the umpire behind the pitching mound, the crew chief, Aaron Roberts. As Rell fouls that pitch off out of play. Count holds at 2-2. Base hit ties the game if Rell can get it into the outfield. Nathan Houston at third, Abian Medina at second. Abe Alberg, swing and a miss by Rell, strike 3, and that's the end of the inning. The Berries get a run, though. On 2 hits, there was 1 Moose Jaw error and 2 runners left on base. After 5 complete, it is Moose Jaw 3, Saskatoon 1. You're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. New pitcher. We head to the top of the 6th inning with the Moose Jaw Miller Express leading the Saskatoon Berries by a score of 3-1. New pitcher into the ball game for the Berries will be Matthias Tronson. Tronson from Toronto, coming off his sophomore year at Eastern New Mexico University. 6'5", 220-pound right-hander. Matthias Tronson will make his, there we go, scroll that down, his 6th appearance of the season, 4th in relief. 1 win, no losses, a 6.54 earned run average. He's pitched 11 innings, allowed 10 hits, 9 runs, 8 of them earned, struck out 14, and walked 6. 23-year-old Matthias Tronson, who went to Humberside Collegiate Institute in Toronto for high school. As I mentioned, attended Eastern New Mexico University in Portales, New Mexico. Faces the cleanup hitter for Moose Jaw. here in the top of the sixth and throws a first pitch strike to Eduardo Sainz. Singled and struck out has Sainz tonight, 1 for 2. 3 for 11 in the season series against the Berries, 273 average. Breaking pitch is in for a strike, and that's 0-2. In 2023, Matthias Tronson pitched for Northeastern Oklahoma A&M. And then this past year for Eastern New Mexico, only got into one game. Fastball up high with the 0-2 pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes, as Sainz wasn't about to go after that. Matthias had a real good outing his last time up. Swing and a miss, strike 3 on a breaking ball. 1 away in the top of the 6th inning. In his second season with the Berries, last year he was 1-1 in 10 games with 9 starts, a 3.60 earned run average. His last outing was in the game last Thursday here against Weyburn, when he came on and pitched 4 innings in relief. First pitch to Tanner DeGrazia, down low, ball 1. Struck out 3, didn't walk any, gave up 2 hits and 1 run earned, as the Berries waltzed to a 22-4 win over the Weyburn Beavers that night. 1-0 pitch is called strike, 1-1. Gustavo Soto, the catcher, on deck for Moose Jaw. There's his fastball in for a strike, 1-2. Right at the knees on DeGrazia. Berries have good team numbers, both hitting and pitching. Curveball, strike 3 called. DeGrazia doesn't take the bat off of his shoulders. And quickly 2 away here in the top of the 6th inning, and up comes Gustavo Soto, who's 0 for 2. Flew to right in the 2nd inning, grounded to 3rd in the 4th. Came into the game hitting .280. Now 14 for 52. That's still above .250 for the year. Swings and fouls the first pitch back to the screen, strike 1. First baseman Jackson Yeager is on deck. Tronson ready to deliver. Fastball in there for a strike. He's come in throwing pitches in the strike zone. That's what Joe Carnahan wants from the guys coming out of the pen. No farting around with trying to nibble at corners. Throw strikes. You get defense to help. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Tronson strikes out the side in the top of the 6th inning. Not quite an immaculate inning. He goes 11 pitches to get his 9 strikes and 3 strikeouts, as there's no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. After 5.5, it's Moose Jaw 3, Saskatoon 1. You're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege.
So dark before. Oh, not yet.
Back for the bottom of the 6th inning. Catcher Gustavo Soto making the last out, just now making his way into position behind home plate. He'll take probably a couple of pitches from Abe Alberg, and then we'll get underway with the bottom of the 6th inning. Alberg, the second Moose Jaw pitcher, came into the game last inning, surrendered a run-scoring single to Abia Medina, but then struck out Mason Rell to quell the Berries' rally as they got a run finally. Trailing the Moose Jaw Miller Express 3-1 here going to the bottom of the 6th inning, and it's going to be the 5, 6, and 7 hitters. Right fielder Ethan Murdoch, center fielder Carter Beck, and DH Corey Waters to face Abe Alberg. Murdoch 0 for 2. First pitch foul. This one could be playable, but not able to get to it are the first baseman Yeager or the catcher Soto, as it wasn't very high in the air and it was just towards the fence on the first base side that they couldn't get there, but strike one on Murdoch. Ethan on an 8-game hitting streak coming into tonight. 3 for 10 in the season series against Moose Jaw. One strike pitch is fouled back to the screen, strike 2. Alberg gets it up there pretty good. Throws from out of the stretch even with nobody on base. Strike 3 called. They're saying that's at the knees. Ethan Murdoch looks back at home plate umpire Bobby Mark and says, that's down just above my ankles, not at the knees, as he's not happy with the call. One out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. It'll bring up Carter Beck. Beck doubled in the 4th inning. Flew out to center in the 2nd. Carnduff Saskatchewan product, who of course had that magical rookie season. Rookie of the Year in the Western Canadian Baseball League. Top Canadian player in the WCBL. First pitch to him, ball 1. He was the All-Star Game MVP last year. The Berries MVP. Takes a strike, 1-1. He's coming off his first season at Indiana State, where he hit .335. One pitch is downstairs and outside, 2-1. Just turned 20 years old last week, did Carter Beck. 2-1 pitch, and it hits him on the hand. And so, man on with one away. That's going to smart. Beck has 8 stolen bases. He may be just trying to make sure he gets rid of that. Now we're going to get the head coach come out and say, okay, it hit him in the hand. Isn't that part of his bat when he's gripping the bat? And now Bobby Mark wants his cohorts to join him for a discussion here. And you could make that argument that if you get hit now, they're going to say he gets his hit in the hands. It's fine. He's not part of the bat. So he's on first. And Corey Waters is the batter. DH is 1 for 2. 2 for 11 in the season series against Moose Jaw. Throw to first, and diving back in time is Carter Beck, as Abe Alberg appears to have a pretty good move to first base. Alberg's pitch down low, ball 1. Catcher Balin Sorensen on deck for the Berries. A throw over to first again by Alberg. Trying to catch Beck napping over there. In conversation with Jackson Yeager, the first baseman. 1-0 pitch. Fouled off by Waters, 1-1. The bullpens are empty. Nobody warming up on either side right now. The bullpens are the pitchers of record right now, as again a throw over to first. Beck back easily, standing up. Andre Zarate, the starter for Moose Jaw, did not get the requisite 5 innings in to be eligible for the victory as the pitcher for Moose Jaw tonight. Waters fouls it back to the screen, 1-2. Barry starter Diego Quinones is on the hook for the loss at the other side. But the starters are both gone here in the 6th inning, and we're into the bullpens. Excuse me. 1-2 the count on Corey Waters. Up high, 2-2. Abe Alberg throws it hard. Likes to come with fastball. Says, catch it if you can. There's a throw over to first. Beck dives back in safely. Some of the fans booing a little bit. Don't like the constant throwing over. Two-two pitch to Waters. On the ground between first and second into right field. A base hit. Beck going to stop at second base as it's thrown back into the cutoff man from the right fielder out there. Beck had to hold up and let the ball go by him, and Austin Gurney able to gun it back in. So Beck up to second. Waters with his second hit of the night. Seventh hit of the game for the Berries. To 5 for Moose Jaw, yet it's the Miller Express who lead 3-1. So now Balin Sorensen is at the plate. Sorensen grounded out to second. Reached on an error to lead off the 5th inning and came around to score the only Saskatoon run so far in the ball game. Sorensen's 1 for his last 13. Would like to get a big base hit right about now. Swing and a miss, strike 1. He was swinging for the downs there. One away here in the bottom of the 6th, 2 men on. Abe Alberg working in relief for Moose Jaw. Swing and a miss again, strike 2. Sorensen not able to catch up to that as we start to get some activity again down the left field line for the Moose Jaw Miller Express. One-two pitch is called strike 3 on Sorensen. 2 away. Alberg has 3 outs out of 6 batters faced. All 3 of the outs are strikeouts. 2 hits and a hit batsman otherwise. Jalen Freeman, the number 9 hitter for the Berries, up. He's 0 for 2. Alberg likes the pitch call from the catcher Gustavo Soto. Fastball, first pitch swinging, is fouled off. Possibly in play, is coming back towards the screen, and it's just over the big screen and bounced right in front of us and popped up in the air. That's about the closest I've seen a foul ball come to getting anywhere near our little cubicle here. Strike 1 after all of that. go with a 1 strike count here on the two outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Alberg's pitch foul back to the screen by Freeman. 2 strikes. He has Alberg measured. Just a matter of sending it the other way and straightening it out.
Yes, he looked that way. And then threw really quick. So the guy didn't even see him coming.
2 strikes on Freeman. Alberg's fastball delivery again foul back to the screen. Count holds at 2 strikes on Jalen Freeman. Top of the order, Ethan Menard on deck for the Berries. Abe Alberg's pitch. This is lined into left field, a base hit. Beck is going to come around second and head for home. Here's the throw towards home plate. Not in time. Beck is in safely, and it's 3-2. Sorensen holds at second base. An RBI single for Jalen Freeman. Scoring Carter Beck from second. For Freeman, his 17th RBI on the year and his 8th as he extends his hitting streak to 9 games. And now the top of the order in Ethan Menard. 2 for 3, a couple of singles for him tonight. 2 away in the bottom of the 6th inning. 3-2 Moose Jaw with the lead. Alberg's first pitch, breaking ball. Haven't seen a lot of those from him, and in for a strike. Basically, it's been good old country hardball. Fastball after fastball, but he threw an off-speed pitch to Menard there. 1 strike pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Corey Waters at second. Jalen Freeman at first. 2 away here in the bottom of the 6th. And 2 men on. Alberg checks the runners. 2 strike pitch. Popped up. Foul territory. First baseman Yeager will make the play. And that's the end of the inning. In the bottom of the 6th, the Berries get a run on 2 hits. There were no Moose Jaw errors and 2 runners left on base. After 6, it is Moose Jaw 3, Saskatoon 2. You're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Unofficial line score through 6 innings of play here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. Moose Jaw Miller Express have 3 runs on 5 hits. They've committed 2 errors and left 3 runners on base. Saskatoon Berries have 2 runs on 8 hits. They have yet to commit an error, and they've left 8 runners on base. 3-2 Moose Jaw with the lead heading to the top of the 7th inning. Matthias Tronson on for a 2nd inning in relief for the Berries. He'll face the bottom third of the Moose Jaw order, Jackson Yeager, Pacey Phillips, and Ben Wallachek. Tronson's first pitch up high, ball 1, to Jackson Yeager, who's 0 for 2 tonight. Line drive in between shortstop Houston and third baseman Rell into left field. And a leadoff single for Jackson Yeager here in the top of the 7th inning. Just the 6th hit of the night for Moose Jaw. Pacey Phillips, the center fielder, is up to bat. Phillips singled and scored in the 3rd inning, grounded out in the 4th. First blemish against Matthias Tronson in this his appearance. Phillips checks bunt and lets it go, ball 1. One 0 pitch upcoming. Phillips, will he show bunt again? He does. Pops it up, and it's going to be landing on the ground towards the backstop. 1 ball, 1 strike on the Corrobert product, Pacey Phillips. Second baseman Ben Wallachek is on deck. One pitch upcoming. Breaking ball is in for a strike. 1-2 on Phillips. That probably takes the bunt off. Can't be certain of that. Ethan Menard holding the runner at first. Rell is backed up to even with the bag rather than on the edge of the infield grass. He shows bunt again and fouls it back, and that's a strikeout. Strikeout, bunted third strike is a strikeout, 1 away. That's 4 strikeouts for Tronson in the ball game. So Ben Wallachek, the second baseman, coming up, singled and scored in the 3rd inning, grounded out to 3rd in the 5th. Wallachek 2 for 10 in the season series against the Berries. Right-handed hitter. Tronson's first pitch is a called strike. He continues to pound the zone. Top of the order, Thomas Soto on deck. One strike pitch is down and in, ball 1. Three-two Moose Jaw with the lead here in Saskatoon in the top of the 7th inning. Breaking ball up high on Wallachek, 2-1. Tronson check on the runner at first. Wallachek, big hit, but hooking foul down the left field side off of a tree way out there. He actually hit that a pretty good way. But it's a long strike, and it's 2-2. Tronson's 2-2 pitch, a little blooper into left field. That one will get down, a base hit. Yeager up to second. Wallachek with his second hit of the night. First and second with 1 away for Moose Jaw here in the top of the 7th as they look to get back those runs that Saskatoon have scored in each of the last 2 innings. 3-2 is the score. Here in the top of the 7th, and Thomas Soto, the leadoff man, up. 1 for 2, singled and scored in the 3rd inning, walked in the 5th. First pitch on the outside corner, strike 1. Foul back to the screen. 2 strikes quickly on Thomas Soto. PA announcer urging the fans to get loud, help out with getting a strikeout here. 2-strike pitch. Called. No, I thought he was going to call strike 3. He got up out of the couch, and I thought he was going to call strike 3, but he says outside, and Joe Carnahan has left his usual post from just inside the dugout to get to the outside of it. He thought that was strike 3, but it's ball 1, 1-2. Tronson, 1-2 pitch, fastball. This one's hit in the air to left field. Foul territory. Freeman coming over, can't get there. Took a slide into the bullpen area and couldn't come up with it, so Soto stays alive at 1-2. William Edwards, the designated hitter, on deck for the Miller Express. A dangerous hitter. First 3 guys in the Moose Jaw lineup all hit above 300. Again, the 1-2 pitch on Soto. Up high, the throw down to first, trying to catch Wallachek too far off the bag, and Sorensen's throw was almost into right field as Menard had to track that down. 2-2 as that one was up and in. Matthias Tronson's 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball, strike 3. Swing and a miss. 2 away. And many in the crowd of 1,447 liking what they see right now. 2 out, 2 men on, and William Edwards, the designated hitter, coming up. 0 for 2 with a sacrifice. First pitch in there for a strike. One strike pitch upcoming to William Edwards. Breaking ball. Not called strike. That one's inside, 1-1. Just over 2 hours into the ball game tonight. We're in the top of the 7th inning. Partly cloudy skies, 20 degrees Celsius, south wind 6 kilometers per hour. On the ground towards the shortstop, Houston takes it on the hop. The short flip to second for the force play, and that's the end of the inning. For Moose Jaw in the top of the 7th, no runs on 2 hits, no Barry's errors, and 2 runners left on base. After 6.5, we head to the bottom half and the 7th inning stretch. It is Moose Jaw 3, Saskatoon 2. You're watching Barry's baseball on FloCollege. Really? Oh. Well, he's arguing, talking to the umpire, and the umpire didn't like what he said, so he threw him out of the game.
No.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah.
Yeah, you're so good. I'm watching. That's crazy.
As we come back for the bottom of the 7th inning, Joe Carnahan has been ejected from this game, the Barry's head coach. He got into it, not really vehemently, he just started chatting with home plate umpire Bobby Mark, who took exception to something that was said and tossed the Barry's head coach. And Joe hasn't left yet. He's still in conversation with the crew chief, Aaron Roberts. Joe will eventually leave because we're just about set and ready to get started with the bottom of the 7th inning. Abe Alberg is out for a second full inning. He'll face Nathan Houston, Abiam Medina, and Mason Rell. Now the umpires have to get themselves into position. Joe's headed out. He'll go into his office in the Atco trailer in behind the first base bleachers and probably listen to me and watch the game. Houston first pitch swinging, fouls it up and out of play, just over top of the first base bleachers, strike one. Houston is 0 for 3 tonight. One strike pitch inside with a breaking ball, 1-1. Three-two Moose Jaw leads in the bottom of the seventh. Breaking ball is outside, 2-1. Second baseman Wallachek. Hands go out, thought that was a strike from where he stands. 2-1 the count. Up and in on Houston. Now 3 balls and a strike. Abe Alberg brings it pretty good. That one put a little breeze on the face of Nathan Houston. 3-1, big swing and a miss, strike 2. Full count on the leadoff hitter here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Alberg ready to go with a 3-2 pitch to Nathan Houston. Breaking ball, line shot, but going to be caught at the shortstop, Thomas Soto. Well tagged, but didn't have the altitude to get over Soto and needed to be on one side or the other that he couldn't get to, but right at him, one away. Brings up second baseman Abiam Medina, who's 2 for 3 tonight, a couple of singles in each of the first and fifth innings. Drove in the Berries' first run back in the fifth inning. Shot towards second, Wallachek knocked to his knees making the play, but he'll get up and throw him out, and there's 2 away. So now it's Mason Rell, the third baseman, coming up. With Joe Carnahan ejected from the game, the Berries' assistant coaches are Araben Gutierrez, Chance Wheatley, and Ryan Olcheway. Olcheway is the pitching coach. I'd have to imagine Wheatley, who was here last year, might be the guy that has the reins of the team. As bat pitch down and into Mason Rell, ball 1. Alberg's pitch in for a strike. Ethan Murdoch, the right fielder, on deck. Rell is 0 for 3 this evening. Low that time, 2-1. Two and one the count on Mason Rell with 2 away in the bottom of the 7th inning. Low and away with a breaking ball, 3-1. Berries have had a penchant for coming from behind of recent. Rell fouls that one off, and it's a full count. They did so here against these Moose Jaw Miller Express. Full count, pitch is low and away, ball 4. So a 2-out walk will bring up Ethan Murdoch. Murdoch is 0 for 3. And now head coach for the Moose Jaw Miller Express, Eric Marriott, out to, actually that looks like Dustin Mulliken again, the pitching coach, coming out to chat with Alberg. Nobody warming up down the left field line as far as throwing goes. They're starting to do something towards maybe doing that. Trying to catch a number that could be Nathan Piscio. Piscio was the losing pitcher in the 10-inning game back last Wednesday here when the Berries were trailing 7-5 going to the bottom of the ninth, scored 2 to tie it, and then won it in the 10th inning. And then just this past Friday, back in Moose Jaw, the Berries were down and scored 5 runs in the final 2 innings to win 12-8. Here it's 3-2 Moose Jaw in the bottom of the 7th. Murdoch, first pitch swinging, pops it up, and this is going to be foul out of play. 1 strike count on Ethan Murdoch. Swift Current product. Played for the 57s a couple of years ago. Found his way to Joe Carnahan and the Saskatoon Berries. Here's a toss over to first. Rell dives back into the bag. Mason Rell has 7 stolen bases. Might be an idea to go get into scoring position. 1 strike pitch. Breaking ball inside 1-1. Gustavo Soto framing that for home plate umpire Bobby Mark, and they have a discussion about what is considered a strike and what isn't. Neither side happy with the strike zone tonight from what I can gather. 1-1 pitch. That one's a called strike. 1-2 the count on Murdoch. Carter Beck, the center fielder, is on deck. Abe Alberg trying to get out of the inning. And now he'll step off. And that is Nathan Piscio down the left field line warming up. Meanwhile, down the right field side, Tanner Hosick warming up for the Saskatoon Berries. Might be coming on in the top of the 8th. Alberg a throw over to first. Rell easily back. One and two the count on Ethan Murdoch. Bounced in. Good block by Soto. 2-2. Alberg would love to get Murdoch and get out of the inning. Berries would love to get Murdoch on and bring up Carter Beck. 2-2 the count with 2 away. Abe Alberg's pitch is down low. Full count. Well, Rell will be going with the pitch. Jackson Yeager, who was holding him on, now will play back behind him. And Abe Alberg's 3-2 pitch upcoming. On the ground is short. Soto can't come up with it. Rell will turn second and head to third. Ball returned into the infield, and it'll get all the way into foul territory where the pitcher Alberg gets it between third and home. But now first and third with 2 away. Piscio is still warming up, and will we see a move here by the head coach, Eric Marriott? Doesn't look like it. Catcher Gustavo Soto giving signals to the infielders as to what they're going to do in case Murdoch decides to take off for second base. Beck at the plate. 1 for 2, doubled, hit by a pitch and scored. First pitch is in for a strike. Critical point in the ball game. 3-2 Moose Jaw leads. 2 away, 2 men on. Runner on third. The tying run 90 feet from home plate. Abe Alberg. Downstairs, good block by Soto, 1-1. Doesn't look like Murdoch is in any great hurry to take off for second and try and goad the Miller Express into a double steal or delayed double steal situation. 1-1 pitch. High, 2-1. A little drama going on here on a Monday evening at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. 2-1 pitch. Hit in the air. Center field. Going back with room. Short of the warning track and making the catch is the center fielder Pacey Phillips to retire the side. Beck put a charge into that one but hit it to the deepest part of the ballpark. The Berries come up with empty as far as runs go. They have a hit. No errors for Moose Jaw and 2 runners left on base. After 7, it's the Moose Jaw Miller Express 3, the Saskatoon Berries 2. You're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Yeah, so did I. Top of the 8th inning, we're going to get a pitching change from the Saskatoon Berries. Tanner Hosick going to come on after 2 very good innings from Matthias Tronson. Tronson unofficially with 31 pitches over his 2-inning stint, giving up 2 hits, no runs, 5 strikeouts, no walks, and gives way in the top of the 8th inning to Tanner Hosick. Hosick, high leverage pitcher for Joe Carnahan, Ryan Olcheway, and the Berries, making his 10th appearance out of the bullpen, has a win and a loss, 3 saves, a 2.13 earned run average, 12 2/3 innings pitched, allowed 9 hits, 4 runs, 3 of them earned, struck out 15, and walked 3. He'll face the meat of the Moose Jaw order, 3, 4, and 5 hitters, Austin Gurney, Eduardo Sainz, and Tanner DeGrazia. Gurney, first pitch swinging, lifts a little looper into left field, coming on! Freeman makes the catch. Jalen Freeman came roaring in from left field, dove forward, and got his glove under the ball, makes the sterling catch for the first out here in the top of the 8th inning. First pitch swinging, Austin Gurney. Now 1 for 4 on the night. It'll bring up Eduardo Sainz, the third baseman. That's a gold star play from Jalen Freeman in left field, and one maybe to keep in mind if the Berries can come away victorious tonight. Now Hosick to deal to Eduardo Sainz, and first pitch strike. Hosick from Bellevue, Nebraska, coming off his freshman year at the University of Nebraska at Omaha. Strike 2 on the inside corner at the knees. 5'7", 155 pounds. He throws a pitch that belies the size. He rushes it up to the plate pretty good. 2-strike pitch, foul back by Signs to the screen as he came back with the heater. Berries in the bottom of the 8th inning will have the bottom third of the order. DH Corey Waters, catcher Balin Sorensen, and left fielder Jalen Freeman coming up. Will we continue to see Abe Alberg pitching for Moose Jaw, or will Nathan Piscio come on? 2 strikes on Signs. That's down low, ball 1, 1-2. 3-2. Moose Jaw with the lead. Hosick ready to deliver the 1-2 pitch. And again fouled off by Signs up over the first base bleachers, out of play. Signs ready to go again. Hosick waiting on him. Now ready to go again with a 1-2. And that's bounced in. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Out of town tonight, bottom of the 8th inning, Lethbridge leads Brooks 4-1. Bottom of the 7th, Regina with a 2-1 lead in Weyburn. Here it's 3-2 for Moose Jaw. These same 2 teams will play again tomorrow night right back here at 7 o'clock. 2-2 pitch, and Signs spoils that. Putting up a battle here against Tanner Hosick in this at-bat. Signs is 1 for 3 tonight. Singled his first time up, struck out the last 2. Hits this one high in the air. Foul territory, and Menard over. Has room right at the tarp to make the catch for the second out. Menard had to go a long way to get to that ball and almost overran it, but was able to look up in time to find it just as he ran to the tarp down the right field side, short of the Berries bullpen. So 2 away, and it'll bring up the left fielder Tanner DeGrazia, who's 0 for 3. DeGrazia's 4-game hitting streak is on the line right now. And a first pitch strike. That was a dandy battle of an 8-pitch at bat for Eduardo Signs, finally won by Tanner Hosick and the Berries. Need one more win this half inning. Breaking ball outside, 1-1. A 1-1 pitch up coming from Tanner Hosick. Hit on the ground. Menard will field it on the second hop, take it himself, and that's the end of the inning. A 1-2-3, top of the 8th. No runs, no hits, no Berries errors, nobody left on base. After 7.5, it's Moose Jaw 3, Saskatoon 2, as you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Bottom of the 8th inning, Abe Alberg is back out to pitch for Moose Jaw. Second pitcher of the night for Eric Marriott and the Miller Express. He'll face the bottom third of the Berries order. Corey Waters, the designated hitter. Then Balin Sorensen, the catcher, and Jalen Freeman, the left fielder. Waters is 2 for 3 tonight. Singled against Alberg his last time up in the 6th inning. Saskatoon product Waters, one of 5 Saskatoon kids on the main roster. Of course, the Berries carry some under 18 AAA affiliates. A couple of them have seen some action this year. Alberg's first pitch is inside, ball 1. But the Berries have a pretty full 35-man roster going on right now. One injury to Cam Marshak sustained early in the season. Down low 2-0 to Waters. Berries recently added Rudy Gonzalez as a third catcher to go along with Balin Sorensen and Ethan Menard. Waters hits a fly ball to left field. Well tagged, looking up, and you can kiss that baby goodbye. Corey Waters, home run to left field, ties this ball game up at 3-3 in the bottom of the 8th inning. 2-0 pitch, Waters sat on it, and he hammered it for his 6th home run of the season. And that's got the fans excited. It's certainly got the Berries dugout excited because everybody that's at the dugout greets Corey Waters before he arrives. And, well, that may have been one batter too late for the Moose Jaw head coach because he's making a call to the bullpen. Eric Marriott is. It'll be Nathan Pizzio coming on in relief. A solo shot by Corey Waters to tie this ball game up at 3-3. So Nathan Pizzio coming on. Pizzio, who's a hometown Moose Jaw guy, attended Central Collegiate High School in Moose Jaw. 6 foot, 165-pound right-hander is making his 11th appearance of the season, all in relief. 3 wins, 1 loss, 2 saves, a 1.68 earned run average. Has pitched 16 innings in his 10 appearances, allowed 9 hits, 5 runs, 3 of them earned, struck out 20, and walked 5. But I will remind you that Nathan Pizzio, back on July 2nd, back last Wednesday, was the losing pitcher in the 10-inning come-from-behind Barry's 8-7 win here over Moose Jaw. That night, Pizzio pitched an inning and 2/3, allowed 3 runs, 2 of them earned on 2 hits, struck out 1 and walked 1. He faced only 8 batters. Since then, he's come on and had a couple of scoreless outings against Regina and Lethbridge. And now comes in a 3-3 tie here against the Saskatoon Berries as Corey Waters has just touched Abe Alberg for a solo home run to tie the game. Alberg leaves the game, having allowed 5 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned. He struck out a couple, walked 1, hit a batter as well. So Balin Sorensen coming to the plate now. Catcher is 0 for 3 tonight. Scored, though, back in the 5th inning after reaching on an error. Alberg had 3 strikeouts, not 2. My apologies. But he did walk one and did allow a walk as the first pitch to Sorensen is in for a strike. Breaking ball in there for a strike as well. And now the umpires in behind home plate in the diamond seating are having their say, disagreeing. 2 strikes quickly on Bale and Sorensen here. Breaking ball outside 1-2. 2.5 hours plus in this ball game. Shouldn't be anybody in the crowd of 1,400 plus as Sorensen rips a base hit up the middle. Trying to split the outfielder. Sorensen is first. He's going to try for 2, and he will get in there safely. Sorensen saw the ball head between the outfielders, center and right, and didn't break stride around first base, and slides in safely into second with a double. It'll bring up Jalen Freeman, who brought in a run back in the 6th inning with a single, as he's 1 for 3 tonight. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th. Tanner Hosick is the Barries closer. We've got a pinch runner coming into the game now for Sorensen. It'll be Nomar Prieto. Nomar Prieto in to run for Bale and Sorensen. And Freeman up to bat. Top of the order after Freeman with Ethan Menard and Nathan Houston. 1,447 the attendance tonight. Jackson Yeager creeping into the infield grass in case there's a bunt possibly coming from Freeman. First pitch, a called strike on the inside corner. Three the score. Bottom of the 8th inning. Barries have the potential go-ahead run on second base. Nathan Piscio into the game, and he'll step off as he didn't like Prieto's lead at second. Jalen Freeman looking to give the Barries their first lead of the night. And now he calls time. Moose Jaw scored 3 in the top of the 3rd inning. That's been really their only offensive outburst in the game. 3 runs on 4 hits in that inning. Other than that, there's a myriad of zeros up on their side of the scoreboard tonight. Barries have pecked away with singles in the 5th, 6th, and now here in the 8th inning. Down low, Piscio thought that was a strike. He doesn't get the call from home plate umpire Bobby Mark. It's 1-1. Piscio at the belt. 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball. Down low and inside. 2-1. Hosick glares in at catcher Gustavo Soto, says, give me those signs again. Now he's got what he wants. Prieto at second. Playing a little cat and mouse with the shortstop. Freeman, line drive, left center field, coming over to make the catch. Prieto taking off for third, and he will get in there safely, as now he's 90 feet away from giving the Barries the lead. A fly ball to center field, well tagged by Freeman, and a good play by Pacey Phillips in center field to move over to his right to make the catch. And now it brings up Ethan Menard, who's 2 for 4 tonight. 2 singles in the 3rd and 5th innings. A couple of foul outs to the first baseman otherwise. Infield in. And the first pitch, breaking pitch, he fouls back to the screen, strike one. Just kind of need to loop it over the infield, but Ethan only has one speed when it comes to the swing, and that's going for broke. Which, of course, endears you to fans. He'll cue that one foul. It'll spin around and stay foul into the grass. Quickly 2 strikes on Ethan Menard with Nathan Houston on deck. One away here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Nomar Prieto, the potential go-ahead run on third. 2-strike pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Menard goes down, 2 away, and it'll bring up Nathan Houston, who's 0 for 4 tonight. Houston, a former Moose Jaw Miller Express. Played as an AP with them in 2023, was a regular last season. Down and away, ball 1 from Pizio. Abian Medina on deck. One-0 pitch coming from Pizio. Again down low. Gustavo Soto picks the short hop off the dirt. Anything that gets away from him becomes a potential go-ahead run. 2-0 the count on Houston. Batter's count here. Pizio needs to come in. 2-0 pitch. Fouled off. Threw a breaking ball. Did not throw the fastball. Did not give in. 2-1 the count. Pizio ready to go again. Prieto, the runner at third. 2-1 pitch is outside. Pizio thought he had a strike. Ben Wallachek, the second baseman, very animated, thinking that that was a strike. Instead, it's 3-1. And a ball 4, that one's bounced in. Runners on first and third, 2 away, and Abian Medina coming up, 2 for 4 tonight. Singled in the first inning, singled in the 5th, drove in the first Berries run of the night. And with 2 away, Gustavo Soto making signals for the infielders to understand what they do in case Houston decides to take off for second base. And Nathan Houston certainly a candidate to do that with 9 stolen bases on the year. Delayed double steal in the offing? Maybe. Pizio's first pitch to Medina. Houston takes off for second. The ball's blocked. And as a result, Houston easily into second base. Ball 1 to Abian Medina. Second and third with 2 away. Right-handed pitcher to a left-handed hitter with a couple of hits. One-0 pitch. Medina hooks it foul towards the Berries dugout. 1-1. Base open, first base open. I might be tempted to put Medina on and pitch to the right-handed hitter with your right-handed pitcher. And Mason Rell is 0 for 3 tonight. But that's not in the thought process for the Moose Jaw Miller Express. Medina on the ground. Second baseman Wallachek fields it, throws to first in time, and that's the end of the inning. Shows you what I know. Berries, though, get a solo home run from Corey Waters and leave a couple of runners on base. 3-3 the score after 8 here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. You're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Top of the ninth inning. We're going to be having the Berries hitting in the bottom of the ninth for the second straight home game. And for the Moose Jaw Miller Express against Tanner Hosick, it'll be catcher Gustavo Soto, first baseman Jackson Yeager, and center fielder Pacey Phillips. Gustavo Soto 0 for 3 tonight. As Hosick on for a second inning of work in relief. First pitch in for a strike. Just like Matthias Tronson, only with a little bit of difference in height on the two. Hosick wants to throw strikes right away with that fastball. Get ahead. Does so. Swing and a miss by Soto. 0-2. Berries in the bottom of the ninth will have Mason Rell, Ethan Murdoch, and Carter Beck due up. But they got to get through the top of the ninth first. And Soto, one hopper to the shortstop Houston. Throw across the diamond in time, one away. Jackson Yeager coming up. He's 1 for 3, singled his last time up in the seventh inning against Matthias Tronson. Yeager, a right-handed hitter. First pitch, check swing, called strike. Yeager from Omaha, Nebraska, coming off his junior year at the University of Sioux Falls. Popped up in the infield. In behind the mound, Ethan Menard calling. And he and Rell almost collided, but Menard makes the catch. 2 away. Pacey Phillips, the center fielder, coming up. Robert Saskatchewan product is 1 for 3 tonight, singled and scored the game's first run back in the third inning. Hosick pitching to Rudy Gonzalez, who came on after Balin Sorensen was run for by Nomar Prieto back in the bottom of the eighth inning. First pitch is down low, ball 1. Rudy Gonzalez into his second game with the Saskatoon Berries. Played back on Saturday night. Swing and a miss by Phillips, strike 1.
Keep going, kids.
1-1 the count on Pacey Phillips here in the top of the ninth inning. That's low, ball 2, 2-1. Second baseman Ben Wallachek is on deck for Moose Jaw. He's 2 for 3 tonight. Hosick would like to get this man right now. Send his team to bat in the bottom of the ninth with a chance to walk it off. Down low, 3-1.
Come on, don't give him a walk. Strike him out.
3-1 count here. Hosick pitching to Pacey Phillips. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Payoff pitch upcoming. Tanner Hosick delivering to Pacey Phillips in a tie ball game, and now Phillips calls time. 2 hours and 50 minutes into this one. And we don't have a clear-cut winner just yet. Tie ball game. 2-2 fouled off onto the screen. The count remains full at 3-2.
They should be yelling strike, strike, strike.
2 away here in the top of the ninth. Rudy Gonzalez sets up. Strike 3 called. A 1-2-3. Top of the 9th inning for the Moose Jaw Miller Express against Tanner Hosick. No runs, no hits, no Barry's errors, nobody left on base. Heading to the bottom of the 9th in a 3-3 tie between Saskatoon and Moose Jaw. You're watching Barry's Baseball on FloCollege. So here we go, bottom of the 9th inning. Just the 3rd time this season that the Berries have gone and batted in the bottom of the 9th at home. Nathan Pizzio pitching for the Moose Jaw Miller Express. Mason Rell, the 3rd baseman, will lead it off. He's 0 for 3. Walked his last time up and was left standing on 3rd base back in the 7th inning. Berries have left 12 men on so far. They've had the opportunity several times to score more runs than what they have. Miller Express have had some big pitches and big situational outs. First pitch down and away to Rell with a breaking ball, ball 1. That's outside, ball 2. The Miller Express do have somebody warming up down the left field line. Christian Garcia. Two-0 pitch. Breaking ball up high, 3-0. And a 3-0 pitch in there for a strike as Rell is taking all the way. As you might expect. Don't know how many guys Joe Carnahan would have. As there's ball 4 outside. I was going to say, I don't know how many guys on the roster Joe Carnahan would have giving the green light 3-0. But Rell is on. And Ethan Murdoch to the plate. 1 for 4, singled his last time up, and Dustin Mulliken, the pitching coach, is going to come out and have a chat with Nathan Pizzio. Dustin with the slow walk. I won't bug him too much about that when I see him tomorrow. That's just the pace you get from coaches in a tough situation when you're looking for a few more warm-up tosses for your pitcher down in the bullpen. And now here comes Bobby Mark, the home plate umpire, to break up the meeting of everybody in the infield. Catcher, pitcher, first, second, third baseman, and shortstop. And Bobby Mark says to Dustin Mulliken, I don't care whether you pitched for Canada back. Oh, he throws him out. Oh, my goodness. What did Dustin Mulliken say? Bobby Mark has just thrown out the Moose Jaw Miller Express pitching coach, Dustin Mulliken. And so now he'll head to the Moose Jaw locker room. Oh, now we're... Oh, takes off his top and tosses it down on home plate and points over to the home plate umpire. Wow. Dusty's a big man, I'll tell you. You don't want to get on his wrong side. So now, Ethan Murdoch is coming up to bat, and there's still chirping coming from the Moose Jaw dugout. They want somebody from the Miller Express to come and get Dustin Mulliken's top that he threw on top of home plate. Catcher Gustavo Soto takes it off of there and will hand it over to one of the Moose Jaw coaches to take back to the dugout with him. Oh, goodness. So we've had an ejection on both sides tonight. Head coach Joe Carnahan for the Berries, pitching coach Dustin Mulliken for the Moose Jaw Miller Express. The strike zone is their bone of contention on both sides as Pisio steps off before throwing a pitch to Ethan Murdoch. Pisio trying to get together with Gustavo Soto and now wants him to come out. And now he says, no, don't worry about it. Go back behind the plate. We'll see what happens. Pisio ready to deliver. And a curveball in for a strike. We have a pinch runner into the ball game for the Berries at first base for Mason Rell. Cooper Westland is running. Murdoch hits this one high in the air. Straight away center field. And it is off the fence. Westland around third. Heading for home. The throw to the cutoff man. Fired to the plate. And the play at the plate is safe. Gustavo Soto unhappy with home plate umpire Bobby Mark. The Berries have walked it off. Bobby Mark is heading directly to the umpire's dressing room. The Berries have come from behind a 3-0 deficit and won 4-3 tonight. Ethan Murdoch with the long drive to center field. Pacey Phillips couldn't make the catch at the fence, and a close play at the plate. Cooper Westland, the pinch runner, scores all the way from first base, and the Berries win tonight at home by a score of 4-3. 1 run on 1 hit. There were no Moose Jaw errors. 1 runner left on base. The final score tonight from the Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field, the Saskatoon Berries 4 and the Moose Jaw Miller Express 3. Stand by. Final totals when we come back. You're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Well, that's quite the ball game tonight here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. The Saskatoon Berries come from behind and walk it off, defeating the Moose Jaw Miller Express 4-3. Ethan Murdoch with a double off the center field fence, scoring Cooper Westland all the way from first base, who had come on as a pinch runner for Mason Rell, who had led off the inning with a walk against Nathan Pissio. Let's have a look at your final totals for tonight for the Saskatoon Berries. They had 4 runs on 12 hits. Did not commit an error. They left 13 runners on base. For the Moose Jaw Miller Express, 3 runs on 7 hits. They committed 2 errors. They left 5 runners on base. Tanner Hosick is the winning pitcher tonight in relief. His record improves to 2-1. Nathan Pissio, for the second time in a week, takes the loss here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. His record is 3-2. The records now for the Berries, they improved to 28-4 for the season. Second straight win after losing back on Saturday at home to Regina. Berries are 17-1 against we're at home here. They're 17-1 at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field, and they're now a perfect 5-0 against the Moose Jaw Miller Express head-to-head this season. Moose Jaw drops to 13-20 for the season. They've lost 4 straight. They're 8-10 on the road this year, and again 0-5 against the Berries so far this season. They'll get another chance tomorrow night here, as the next game between these teams will be at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Your attendance tonight, 1,440.